Here's something I really like, is a Calvary Style nose bag. And it, most of the things I've seen and read and learned from the Calvary are right on. They had so many horses and had so many great horsemen as a group. I would say that the Calvary was the first one to really, all through the history of all the world, but the Calvary style of horsemanship, whether it be nutrition, horseshoeing, saddle fit, equitation, keeping a horse for a long time, keeping them good. It was all just very, very good quality knowledge. So, but this is a Calvary style nose bag, and I like to use it on my horses. The thing you got to do is he stepped back a little bit, but you got to make sure you got plenty of slack in your halter rope so he can put his head down, or else I'll get to throwing their head and throwing the grain out of it. This is it just needs a fit so it comes up where they got to put their head down to bring the stuff forward. This keeps it coming forward, where the old traditional just hanging nose bags, they have to put their nose down on the ground to get to the bottom, where this they can just put their head down and still stay tied up or hobbled. So that's a real handy thing, and it gets them when you they like getting it put on. So when you put your bridle on, they don't know if they're getting bridled or what. So what I got in here is this is alfalfa cubes or pellets, and mesa. We got some kind of as a combination for cattle and horses and everything, and so I just keep it all in there, keep the mice out of it, and but I don't know how oats, I've never fed oats, and I'm sure it'd feed just as good, but I fed a lot of strategy, Purina strategy in it, and it really good. And the thing is like with Purina, when I watch so many of the different nutrition talks that Purina provided, and I listened to throughout the years, they they always said weigh your feed. Well, okay, weigh your feed and put it in a trough or a pan, and your feed, you don't know if you've got 5 pounds or 2 pounds on the ground and 3 pounds in your horse. So with that nose bag, unless they get to throwing it on you, you know exactly how much they've eaten if you weigh it and let them clean it up. So that's a handy hint and a real good part of horsemanship, and it has no negative effects. Like, well, it'll get them to kind of begging to get the bridle put on sometimes if that's a negative, but he'll just it teaches them how it is to reach for your snaffle bit when you're putting it on, because it's kind of like putting their nose in the nose bag. So I don't know, I think he's a real cowboy or real horseman to have a nose bag, and it just makes it where horse gets a little, this guy's kind of thin anyway, so I want him to get a little extra nutrition. Most horses are too fat, and so it'd be better maybe to use less grain and more miles. That's a buddy of mine, Bob Blackwell, used to have a saying, more mileage, less silage. And I think that's a good program for most horses, but these young horses are getting ridden pretty hard, or maybe a little thin coming in. They need a little bit extra.